Today on The Boot Guy, we're talking about the Red Wing 808, the Irish Setter Upland Hunting Boot. So, as far as the requests go for The Boot Guy, the 808, the Irish Setter, has been one of my most requested boots thus far. Most of the time what guys want to know is, why do their buddies swear by the Red Wing Irish Setter? Well, I have to say, it's a pretty simple choice once you try a pair on. High points on the Irish Setter: it's waterproof. It's a full grain waterproof leather. But at the same time, it has this UltraDry waterproof technology that's built in. And what is that? Well, it's kind of like a membrane. It's kind of like a fabric that they build into the boot. So where does it come in handy? Well, it's a hunting boot, right? It's made for bird hunting. It's made for walking miles upon miles through mud and brush and grass, and it's made to keep your feet dry. Now, since the boot is engineered for walking and moving around and carrying heavy loads and things like that, it's no wonder why guys gravitate towards this as a work boot. Because if you can think about spending 15 hours a day in something that's made to be walked in, you're going to have a pretty comfortable day. So the sole is a urethane material that has a secondary harder material in the heel and the forefoot, which is a little bit of like a dot pattern that's going to give you some different types of traction, which you normally don't get from this wedge sole urethane type material that you see on all the wedge soles. The boot itself is extremely flexible once you break it in. Out of the box, not so, mainly because it's a Goodyear leather welt. So this boot's going to take a little bit to break in, and it's not going to be an easy break-in period. It's going to take you a day or two to get these kind of flexing and soft and just ready for work. The 808 has a mock toe, and this is one of the weak points in my opinion for this boot as a work boot. As a hunting boot, there's no weak points whatsoever, but as a work boot, this mock toe is not going to be the most durable part of this boot. So if you're somebody who really likes the Irish Setter, the 808s, and all the other ones in this series, this is one of those sections where you might want to investigate getting some KG boot guard or some tough toe and just coat this over, because this is going to be a part of the boot that will fall apart on you prematurely. Eyelids, laces, and speed laces are typical for an imported boot. It's nothing to write home about. It's a pressed single piece. They're a little bit heavier than normal, so it's a halfway decent type of speed lace. And as you can tell by looking at this boot, it's a 9-inch boot. It is not an 8-inch boot. It's a little bit taller than normal. So the tongue section here on this boot, it's got cordura mixed with leather. It's one of the strong points about the boot also. It's not a real tough part of the boot. It's not something that's going to hurt you as you're trying to break it in. That cordura is going to fold in really nicely and kind of get out of the way so you can tighten this down around your ankle. Now, it's not a true wedge sole. As you can see, there is a slight heel type rise there. It's not much. I mean, it kind of falls right into the wedge sole realm. And as we know about wedge soles, they're a little bit more comfortable when you have to walk a lot. Now, when it comes to insoles inside this boot, this is nothing you're going to write home about. This is not an insole that you're going to be telling your buddies about that is the most comfortable insole ever. It's just a cheap single density PU material. Nothing fancy, but at least you got this super soft dual density sole. So if this is something that you replace in 2 or 3 months, it's understandable. Now the fit and the size, well, it's a hunting boot, so it's made to be worn with a little bit heavier sock, whether it's a cotton sock, whether it's a wool and polypropylene sock, just a heavier, thicker sock. Because they're thinking when they're engineering boots like this, they're thinking you're going to put these on at 4 in the morning and you're not taking these things off till 6 or 7 at night. When you add that to the work world, it kind of makes sense why guys are always telling other guys to pick up the Irish Setters. Size scale on the boot is pretty nice. It runs between 8 to 14 in D widths and double E widths. On some boots I see that they use a medium and a wide, so the medium's going to be a D, the wide's going to be a double E. So to finish off about the 808, I do not like the pull on the back, though it is a nice chunk of leather. This is a really thick piece of leather they got back here. I just don't like pull-ons that are like this, I feel like they're always catching your pants, or it's just an accident waiting to happen. But outside of that, the boot is comfortable. The boot fits really nice. And for the money, it's something we should be looking at as a work boot. Not so much a hunting boot, but as a work boot. So that's the Red Wing Irish Setter 808 upland hunting boot that has been taken over by the work guys. Hey, if you've ever worn the Irish Setters, if you're wearing the Irish Setters now, please comment below. Let guys know what it is about this boot that you absolutely love. Now, if you've had a pair of these Irish Setters and you hate them, comment below. Let guys know what you really hated about the Irish Setter wedge sole boots. Hey, if you want to see some detailed photos of the inside tongue, of the sole, and the lacing system, swing by TheBootGuy.com. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button below. It really helps out. And if you should have any questions about Irish Setter boots, whether it's the hunting stuff, the work stuff, or whatever, shoot me over an email. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.